Hey, good morning. Welcome to Peak of the Week. It is your spiritual shot of caffeine for the middle of the week to get over the hump of the week. Listen, I'm doing a little bit earlier this week because I got to run around. I got to go get my hair done. Got to go get a bunch of things done. But I'm excited because a few years ago, listen, Christmas Day is approaching. And for those of you who don't celebrate Christmas, blessings to you of the richest kind. But for those of us who call ourselves Christians and celebrate Christmas, wow, Christmas Day is like just a couple days away. And it is a huge holiday. And we want to make sure that we're preparing in the right way. So a few years ago, I was watching this sitcom. And it was called Outsourced. And I don't know if you guys watched it. It wasn't on for that long. But Outsourced was about an American guy. It's an American company. And they moved their workforce to India. And so this guy is managing the site there. And of course, the cultures are so interesting, and there's all this collision happening and a lot of learning going on. And at one point, it's Christmas. And at one point, this American guy, is showing one of the, or maybe a few people, but one of the people that they're working with, an Indian woman, a Hindu, showing all the Christmas things that they're pushing. And they're showing, he's showing them like, Santa Clauses that say all kinds of ridiculous things. Good morning, by the way. Say all kinds of funny, kind of crazy things. And then they've got snowmen and reindeer that are lighting up and dancing and cha-cha-cha and all this kind of stuff. And anyway, at one point, this woman, this Hindu woman, Indian woman, just has this utterly perplexed look on her face. And as he's showing all these crazy, whimsical, silly things, she just looks and says, "This is how you celebrate the birthday of the son of your God?" And I know it wasn't a huge sitcom, but let me tell you something. That stayed in my brain. And that was like a few years ago that sitcom was airing. This is the way you celebrate? This is how you celebrate the birthday of the son of your God? It was profound for me. And I want to say, no, actually it's not. This Christmas, 2020, has tremendous possibilities for you. And I want to show you 2 ways, there are many, but 2 ways that you can celebrate Christmas and make it as rich as it has ever been, especially after the year we've had. So I just want to share this with you. Luke chapter 2. Just a little bit, verses 15 through 19. Listen to this. Now Luke, for those of you who don't know, Luke was a doctor, and Luke wrote one of the Gospels, okay? One of the Gospels, and a Gospel tells the stories, the narratives, the accounts of Jesus, okay? So right here in Luke 2, it's talking about the birth of Jesus, okay? So there's some stuff that's happened, angels have come, and here at verse 15 it says, when the angels had left them, that's the shepherds, when the angels had left them and gone into heaven, the shepherds said to one another, "Let's go to Bethlehem and see this thing that has happened, which the Lord has told us about." So they hurried off and found Mary and Joseph and the baby, who was lying in the manger. And when they had seen him, they spread the word concerning what had been told them about this child. And all who heard it were amazed at what the shepherds said to them. But Mary treasured up all these things and pondered them in her heart. So I'm just reading a portion of the Christmas narrative. And if this is all new to you, chapter 2 of Luke is a good way to start. Let me say this, 2 characters that I just mentioned, that I read in the scriptures, 2 characters, 2 ways that anybody, whether you are like longtime Christian, swimming in the deep end, or whether you're like atheist, don't know anything about God, don't know if I want to know anything about God, what God are we talking about here? Regardless of who you are and where you are, I want to point out 2 characters that I just read about that could help you understand more fully the real meaning of Christmas. Like that woman said, this is the way you celebrate the birthday of the Son of your God? The answer is absolutely not. Absolutely no. And in fact, one could argue that all the trappings of that kind of stuff have been taken off this year. You could explore the true meaning of Christmas in a way you never have before. Two ways. Number one, follow the shepherd's lead. Follow the shepherd's lead. It says here, so they, the shepherds, when the angels had left them and gone into heaven, the shepherds said to one another, let's go to Bethlehem and let's see this thing that's happened, which the Lord has told us. So they hurried off and found it, and they can't go to Bethlehem. By the way, very tricky to go to Bethlehem. Cam and I were in Bethlehem last year. I'll tell you more about that another time. Very tricky to get into Bethlehem and be around Bethlehem literally, certainly now during COVID, but even under normal circumstances, very uncomfortable actually in Bethlehem today. Lots and lots of political and religious tensions, huge. But so going off to Bethlehem, what does that mean? If I say follow the shepherd's lead this year, number one, you may be someone who just wants to explore in a new way. What does it mean to follow the shepherds? What does it mean to hurry off to Bethlehem today for you? I would suggest that maybe camping out in the book of Luke, chapters 1 and 2, and just sort of exploring again. Don't read through it quickly. Take your time and investigate. I would look at John, chapters 1 and 2. Just look at the first couple of chapters. I would look at Matthew. Just spend a little time investigating, just like the shepherds did, right? When the angels left, they went into heaven. The shepherds said to one another, maybe there's more to this. Let's go check it out. Do a little sussing out. That could be something that you do this year, regardless of where you fall on the Christianity or off the spectrum of Christianity, regardless of where you are. Suss it out. Do a little investigating. Explore a little. And I've given you some examples of where you could start. Maybe there's someone that you know that really loves God in a way that you go, that's cool. That's the way, if I were to be a Christian, or maybe you are a Christian, you self-identify as a Christian, but maybe you look around you and go, I'm not that brand of Christianity, that's for sure. But there is someone that you know that you go, but you know what? There's something about that man or that woman. Do a little sussing out, do a little investigating. But definitely look at those passages of scripture and follow the shepherd's lead. Okay, so there's one character. The second character, and this is where I am this year for sure. Listen to this. Verse 19 of chapter 2 of Luke. But Mary, the one who had just given birth to the Christ child, remember the woman said, this is the way you celebrate the birthday of the Son of your God. Right, Mary's like, yeah, not the original people, not the original characters. Okay, so here's Mary. Mary treasured up all these things and pondered them in her heart. That's me this year. I am way more. After the year we've had, are you kidding me? After what we've gone through with our David, I'll give you an update on David in a little bit, guys, but David is doing well, but I'll give you a further update, maybe Christmas morning. But he's doing well right now, really, really, really well. But after the year you and I have suffered, whatever that's looked like for you, you may be more like Mary this year. We'll talk about other characters Christmas morning. I think I'll dive on with you guys. But Mary just was quiet. She's looking at everything going, holy cow. Holy cow. Holy cow. And she's just taking it all in. And she's sitting quietly before the Lord and going, wow, I just need a moment here to ponder these things. She just pondered them in her heart. And that's what I'm doing a heck of a lot of these days as we approach Christmas for the last little while, maybe throughout the whole course of 2020. Just treasuring these things and pondering them in her heart. These things, what are these things? Read the Luke account, Luke chapters 1 and 2. Again, Matthew 1 and 2. John 1. Beautiful. Read them to really fully understand. Because when you look at someone who said, like that sitcom that I told you about, read someone or listen to someone say, this is the way you celebrate? This is how you celebrate the birthday of the Son of your God? Not really. Absolutely not. But certainly not really this year. So check out the shepherds. Follow their lead. Or maybe you feel like you're more like Mary this year. Check out Mary. Check her out. And maybe follow her lead. And actually, frankly, I'd love to know in the comments, which of those two, I know there are other characters, we'll talk about them later, but which of those two, if you had to pick, shepherds, investigating, sussing it out more, or Mary, taking it all in, pondering it in her heart, which are you more like this Christmas? God bless you guys, and I'll see you in a couple of days. Christmas morning, likely I'll be on with you. God bless.